Alright everyone, welcome back to another one of these, oh my god, Age of Empires 2 achievement guides. This time with the achievement, oh my god, it's gonna yank my screen around in the replay too. I'll just let it do its thing for a sec. This time it's gonna be the achievement Seeds of Their Own Destruction, which is to recruit the Saxon Foederati 12 times and survive. So this one is, I didn't think it was too tough, at least playing on standard, but it definitely could be tricky. And you'll have to be kind of methodical about how you do it. How I started off, and if this interests you, feel free to like and subscribe to see a few more of these, because, well, they're kind of fun to make and they're fun to go for, so hopefully they interest people in what they can do as well. So you have these couple towns and stuff, but the main thing is you pretty much just need to worry about here, with the wonder. So I would recommend not really doing anything too crazy at first, pretty much just building up. I kind of took my troops off the border, pulled them away, and kind of started to use the Saxons for that. I don't remember when exactly I take advantage of this stuff, but pretty much what you want to do early is just kind of train up, and you'll want to get you want to focus on getting stone, and then once you've gotten some stone, also wood and gold. There's a lot of stuff out here. If you're feeling expansive, you can get a lot of gold and stuff. What are they doing? Oh my god, look at them go. There's not much out here. That's kind of wild. I didn't realize it was so bare bones in these other areas. But you can see we kind of lose. I run some units away. I get this stone, this gold. You're gonna need this stuff because basically my play was to go for Arbalest and in the Imperial Age. So to work my way up to the Imperial Age and then to start cranking out Arbalest to defend this area, which I also got to doing. The reason you want the stone, of course, is to repair these walls. So that way you can hold up if they decide to go after you. So here, we'll give it a couple seconds on the build up. I've got the food here, there's stone, there's wood. There's a nice little spot to get some gold and also wood down here, which is near-ish to your settlement. When the Saxons turn on you, you're gonna pretty much lose the ability to operate outside of your cities in this achievement when you have 12 groups of Saxons, because it's just not feasible. It's just not doable to keep it all under control. It just, the Saxons will have an army of like 350. It's just, it doesn't work. So in the meantime, oh my god, look at the picks sending units down. In the meantime, you'll pretty much just want to hold. I didn't put any resources into fixing this wall. I didn't think it was worth it. I kind of left these guys to, like, I just kind of left this stuff, and then I used Saxons as sacrifices to defend it because, you know, thin their numbers out a little bit. We move up to the castle. You'll also, what I did was, and you'll see later on, I built a monastery here. I got crossbowman research already, and I gathered up all the relics. You have some here. You have them around the map, there and there. You can see I'm already working on it. And building the monastery, exactly like I said. So, you can even see me bringing some of my melee units down here to start consolidate into this wonder area, since this is what needs to survive. And I start putting all the relics up here because this is the place I'm going to be defending, and it gets you some good gold to continue training your archers. You don't need to be, like, you don't need to start recruiting the Saxons super quick right off the bat, but you do need to start keeping them moving. Like, I kind of do them sporadically through the first little while. And then later on, like I think around the 470s, 480s, I start cranking up the number of recruits, and you can keep an eye on that in the top left. I would say later on, basically my recommendation, you can see me start to get the crossbowman numbers up as well. And there's the relics we're gathering up. Still on fast forward. So the Franks start to attack. I'm not sure why they drop off over here when they're from over there. Like, the game says that they attack from the eastern shore, and for some reason they sail all the way up to the edge of there. I don't get it, but anyways, as you start to get a bunch of Saxons and you start to get like all these huge numbers, you can kind of, I sent them far away to try and buy myself time on these attacks. So there are a couple suggestions that I would make for where to send them, because you can see we're already starting to have this deteriorate by 473. I picked up Arbalest, and here's a really huge suggestion as well, which is to, and then you can see I get pop capped and I say, let's just go attack the picks. So I send these units way up here, so that way they're sitting up here. Once you start hearing this dialogue, by this point you pretty much need to start recruiting the Saxons non-stop, because you're going to have them revolt soon, so you've got to start getting these units out. You can send them a couple places. You can see I send them up to the edge of the map, so that way they have to run and then they focus on this wall before they get back. If you were feeling bold, and this is something that crosses my mind later, now that I'm doing this, you could probably put some of these guys on a transport ship and drop them off in like France or Ireland, and then make the Saxons have to transport them back. That could probably buy you more time too. You can see I'm cranking out the Saxons and running them north. But in hindsight, if you get a chance to do that, you could do that too. I'm just throwing their numbers up here against the Franks and destroying the Picts at the same time, just to save some, just to save myself some time. I pretty much, let me start to slow down now. It's gonna look, oh my god, it looks so slow now. Yep, there it is. Perfect timing. Look at how ready I was. But you can see they've turned against us, and now they're all the way up here, so they still have to run all the way back. And do they even? Maybe they don't. That's even crazier. Apparently, if you put them north of the wall, you can see I tried to get these guys north of the wall, and I couldn't. I didn't even try to defend these places. I mean, you have like so many Saxons, and I just figured my numbers would be stretched way too thin otherwise. I left these guys to gather resources for as long as possible. They're kind of starting to move, but they're not really doing anything yet. You can see like these guys just sit here outside the settlement. It turns out like it's really easy because they don't use most of their, like, they start to mobilize them, but you bought, like, this buys you lots of time. There are some relics in here as well that you'll want to snag out if you can, and bring them up here, because you can see I've got, what, 7 relics up here. It's pretty huge. And then we've got all these arbalests. And a really underrated thing that I would suggest building as well is a university, because if you do get pressured on here, you're gonna want ballistics. Ballistics is huge. You can see I snuck these guys around to be my, I took them from over here, and I snuck them around to be my builders in here, so they can work on a little bit of the walls and some more towers and all kinds of stuff. But I mean, like, it's just not feasible to defend, I believe, all this territory. Probably. You could maybe, if you find a way to, like, lose the Saxons faster, you could maybe manage to take out some of these guys, but there's just so many. I lose these guys up here, but at least the Picts aren't attacking, so I did get to use the Saxons for something. It's crazy that these guys don't even move. This is probably not what the Britons had intended when they remain in control of Britain, but, you know. I haven't built the university yet, so you could have built their university way sooner, like in here. Oh, now they're on the move. And you would have had that from the beginning. I didn't think of it until, I don't know, whenever I build it is when I think of it. So you'll be able to do that way sooner, potentially, as well. From here on out, you pretty much just run out the clock. You will lose some towns. You'll potentially, if you get unlucky, you'll lose all of them, but they focus their attention on the wall and these southern towns first, which means if you can manage to delay, and you can see I'm constantly training arbalists, and getting the blacksmith upgrades and stuff as well. If you can manage to delay them for long enough, you can pretty much make it like I did, where you don't even get attacked here at this spot. Like, they start moving, you can see them start to run past, and you can see me start moving in response. But the year's 491, you could have a university already pretty easy. Oh my god, the game is lagging like crazy if I run it quick. Okay, we're gonna go single speed all the rest of the way. But like, look at how many troops this wall has distracted. There's 56, 58 units that are just attacking Hadrian's Wall. And there's guys in here, and there's a guy over here. Like, it buys you a lot of time. They focus on the walls too much. It saves you a lot of time. Like, they're just wasting their time attacking Londinium. They're attacking this aqueduct. Now you can see I build the university. I'm like, wait a minute. But look at, they're barely even attacking this spot yet. Like, they're starting to make their way there. You can see they have so many units running around. So you wouldn't be able to hold out forever, probably, but you could definitely, you can easily hold out until 500. You could, you can buy yourself a lot of time with some delaying measures, and that pretty much seals the deal for you. The only tricky thing to watch out for is, and you can see immediately ballistics. The only tricky thing I would say to watch out for is you will want to have a lot of resources in the bank, specifically wood and gold, because that's what you use to build your arbalists. I send these guys out just to try and wipe out their numbers a little bit, but you can see them at, like, they could have attacked the walls with all this, but they marched past to go for some of the towns instead. So I just take my archers and I shoot them down. And by this, it's 494. There's 6 hours. 6 years left to go. Not that long. You can see I sent these guys out. That was a little wasteful, but they weren't going to do anything behind the walls, so I figured see if they can take out a unit or two. Because I thought I was about to get crashed on. Like a wave. I mean, there's... If they had decided to attack me with hundreds of units, I probably would have been in trouble. I mean, they have hundreds sitting around. But I got really lucky in that they kind of were really weird in how they attacked stuff. They kind of really focused heavily on Londinium and just sending their troops away. Like, they have them all gathered up. I didn't even know they were doing this. I don't really know. I'm realizing I kind of got a little bit lucky. Maybe this doesn't happen on... Oh, you can see me shredding them. Maybe this doesn't happen on a harder difficulty, but they kind of just don't really, like, they just leave the wonder alone, pretty much. Like, this area, it's like they decided it just wasn't worth the numbers. And look at how long they spend attacking here. You lose Londinium, which is really unfortunate. But, I mean, they're barely doing anything. They're in here now. Like, they would, if they attack earlier, they would definitely get to here, and they would, you know, give you some trouble. But by this point, I've got what? I've got 30, 60, 90, 100 arbalests with ballistics in here. And I've built some towers. I've got buildings in front of the walls. You can see now my towns are falling really quickly. But it's 499, and they didn't even launch any attacks on this. It's just... It turned out very, very easy. This town still stands. And that was that. I mean, just was a really, like, not I mean, you can see they're coming my way. I would have been in some trouble. But it's really not too bad an achievement to get. I mean, 0.1% of players have this, but I honestly believe if you do some strategy similar to this, you can totally improve on it, I'm sure, whoever you are. And, I mean, God, even if you don't, like, this is pretty winnable with the right luck, clearly. So I would say, you know, give it a try. And that'll be that for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.